Hi and welcome to a new lesson. I hope you have watched the previous video. I hope you have understood the lesson. So today we have an interesting poem. So before we get into the poem, I'll just give you a scenario. So all you have to do is just listen, recollect and think. I'll be giving you a situation and all you have to do is just think of that situation. What will you do in that situation? So this is the situation. The situation is in a classroom and the teacher comes in. She enters the classroom. So she says that she has bought 2 gift boxes today, and all you have to do is you have to select any one gift box. You can only select one gift box. So she's presenting the gift box. The first one is this and the next one is this. So which one would you select? Would you select the prettier, the dazzling, the beautiful one, or will you be selecting the old wrapped gift box that has been covered up with torn papers? Which one would you prefer? Would you prefer the first or would you prefer the second? So this is what is this poem about. Your choice in life. I might choose the first one because it looks beautiful. But then the teacher is revealing the truth behind the 2 boxes. The first box seems to be attractive outside, but it contained nothing inside the box. The box was actually empty. Whereas on the other hand, the teacher opens up the second box where a beautiful gift was there inside it. So in life, it is always not the point that we judge something by the outer cover. The first box seems to be beautiful, but it had nothing inside. Whereas the second box, it was so shabby outside. It was wrapped very shabbily, but inside it had a beautiful gift. So this is how we do in our life too. We have a choice in everything that we do in our life. In each and every situation that we face, we have a choice to be taken. So this poem that we are going to see today is about something, the choice we make in life. So let's get started with the poem. So the poem that we are going to see today is The Road Not Taken, written by Robert Frost. The poet is Robert Frost. The main theme of this poem is that the situation we face when we are on the verge of making choices. It is because life is full of choices. And similarly, the narrator faces a situation during his travel, and he finds 2 roads at a point where he has to choose one road and he has to follow his choice. He thinks he may come back one day to travel on the other road. However, he also has a feeling that his choice will someday find new adventures and challenges. Though there is some kind of regret over his choice, yet he realizes that the things he has encountered and the places he has visited because of this path have made all the differences in his life. Let's see about a poet. His actual name was Robert Lee Frost, and he was born on March 26, 1874 in San Francisco, California, US. He died in the year January 29, 1963 when he was at the age of 88, and he was mainly known for his poems and all the playwrights that he has written. So that's about a poet. So once the poet was going through a forest and he reached a point where the path from where the road was diverged into 2 directions. He was standing in the path where the road was taking two directions. So he was confused whether to take the one on the right or to take the one on the left. So he was confused which road to take. And being the only traveler, he could not travel by both the roads at the same time. He had to choose one of the two. And the poet was standing there and he was thinking to himself for a long time. He looked down at one of the roads as far as he could, and he could see to the point where the road was being bent behind bushes. All he could see was the bushes that was being covered. In this stanza we see that the poet decided to take the other road. It was as beautiful as the first one. Grass grew on this road and it showed that the road had not been used much. The poet thought this road was better to be travelled by. However, the truth was that both the roads had been used almost equally. So here the poet tells us that it was a morning and both the roads were being covered with leaves, and there has not been a single traveller who had gone by them so far. Neither of them had made black marks. Normally when you stamp on something, you see your shoe marks or your whatever you wear, those footprint marks. But since it was morning, he was the first person, he could not see any black marks on the leaves. It was somewhat clean. The poet decided to go by the second road and kept the first one for another day. However, the poet knew that there was very less chance of him coming back, because we all know that every road leads to a new road. In this stanza we see the poet imagines a time in future, of how it would be in future, how he would recollect about all these past what is happening. He says that he will then recall to his mind of how he had chosen one of two roads which diverged in the forest. He also would recollect how he had made the decision to travel by the road which was being used less by the people. He will then see that the choice that he has made all the differences. So in simpler words, it has not only affected the future course of the poet's life on the earth, but it also tells us about the course of his spirit after he dies. So this implies for us also, and the choices that we make in our life. That is what is the main theme of the poem. I hope you had understood the poem, the concept behind the poem. So let's just have a quick recap of what we had learned. So one autumn morning, we see the speaker walks through the woods and he comes across a fork in the road. He stands for a long time wondering which of the two roads he should take. And then he stands for a long time wondering which of the two roads he should take. And then he feels sorry that he cannot walk down both of them at once. He peers down one road to see where it goes, but he can only see up to the first bend as plants and foliage block his view. So he sees only the plants. You could see the bushes and the plants being covered. He then decides to take the road which is grassy. Initially, he thinks the road he has chosen as not being walked upon, but later he concludes it is as worn as the other road. He dwells that both roads are equally covered with leaves. On that morning, the leaves had not been crushed under people's steps. The speaker tells himself that he will come back and take the other road sometime in the future. Yet, deep down, he knows that the road he has chosen will lead him to other ways which will take him far from where he has started. It is unlikely that he will ever come back and take the other road. The speaker thinks that someday in the future he would look back at his decision with a sigh. So let's now see the poetic devices that is being used in this poem. So first we are going to see about rhyme scheme. I think you already know about what a rhyme scheme is. Just we'll have a recollection of it. So it is a repetition of similar sounding words and the ordered pattern of rhyming word at the end of lines of a poem or verse. So this is being represented by letters of the English alphabet. So let's see with this poem. I've just taken the first stanza of the poem. Here if you see the ending of each line, the ending word of each line that has been highlighted. The first word here in the last word in the first line is would. So this word would rhymes with stood and could. So since would, stood and could has the same sound, ending sound, I've given in the letter A. So all these three has the same ending sound and giving the letter A. Both and growth. Both and growth, it has the same sound, so I am giving the letter B. So the rhyme scheme of the poem, the road not taken is A, B, A, B. The next poetic device we are going to see is a metaphor. So what is a metaphor? It shows a comparison between two things that are unrelated but shares a common feature. So let's see this with the example from the poem. The roads diverged in a yellow wood. So in this poem we see that the poet compares two roads to our life. He is comparing it with our life. And yellow wood, what does he compare? Yellow woods are the metaphor of making decisions, the choices that you make in life or the decisions that you take in life. So the two roads is being compared to our life and yellow wood is compared to the choice or the decision that you make in your life. So this sentence is an example of metaphor. Next, we are going to see about personification. What is personification? The human qualities given to animals or non-living things. So, any non-living or an animal being given a quality that we humans do, it is an example of personification. So, let's see the line taken from the poem. Because it was grassy and wanted wear. So, grassy is being compared with a human quality. We humans wear something. Okay, so here, can a grass wear something? Normally a grass cannot wear anything. It cannot do anything. But here the poet is comparing a grass with a human quality action that we do. We wear something. So it is being compared with a human quality. So it is an example of personification. Simile. A simile is a device used to compare things with familiar things by using words as or like. For example, then took the other as just as fair. So here we see the poet is comparing things, and it also shows us how the poet has linked the road that is not being used often and is taken to the easy way through life. Symbolism. Use of concrete image that represents an abstract concept. For example, two roads diverged in a yellow wood. So here we see the poet represents the two roads with two or more choices that we make in our life. So the two roads here, it symbolizes an abstract concept. The abstract concept is the two choices that we make in life. Anaphora. Anaphora is a repetition of a certain word or phrase at the beginning of successive lines. So what does successive lines mean? The next line. Okay, the following lines. So let's see example. And sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveller long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could. So if you see the starting of each line, the word and is being repeated. So anaphora is a repetition of a certain word. So the repetition of the word and at the beginning of successive lines. It is being repeated in the next line. So it is an example of anaphora. Next we are going to see about repetition. Repetition of certain word or phrase. For example, somewhere ages and ages hence. So somewhere ages and ages hence, you see the word ages being repeated again and again. So it is an example. Next, two roads diverged in a yellow wood. If you see the entire phrase or the entire line is being repeated again and again in the first stanza and in the fourth stanza. The same line being repeated in the first and the fourth stanza, and so it is an example of repetition. Next we want to see about alliteration. Alliteration is a repetition of initial consonant sound in a line. So this is an example. Because it was grassy and wanted bare. So before I tell you, I explain the thing, let me tell you what is consonant. You know, alphabet has 26 letters and there are 5 vowels and 21 consonants. So if you see A, E, I, O, U is a vowel and the remaining letters of the English alphabet is a consonant. So any the starting sound, if it is a consonant, then it is alliteration. So might be in future I'll teach you about assonance and consonants. So assonance is the vowel sound. The repetition of vowel sound is assonance, and the repetition of consonant sound is consonance. So you need to understand the difference between alliteration and consonants. So I'll be taking about assonance and consonants in future. For now, alliteration, you know what are consonants. So it is a repetition of initial consonant. So in the you'll be seeing these consonant sounds in the beginning. You will see the consonant sounds in the beginning. Wanted where. So you see the consonant sound wa at the beginning of the word. Ho, I kept the first for another day. So you see the consonant sound for in the beginning of the word. So if you, this is an example of alliteration. So next you're going to see about the poetic form of this poem, The Road Not Taken. So what is the poetic form of this poem? It is quintain. So what is a quintain? A quintain is any poetic form containing 5 lines. So let's see this with the poem that we have just learnt. Now if you see the first stanza, you have 5 lines. So any poem that contains 5 lines, we call it a quintain. We call it a quintain. So the poem has 5 lines in each stanza, and so it is a quintain form of a poem. So now I think this is the new term that you are learning, and I hope you have understood this term. Quintain is a poem containing only 5 lines in a stanza. It is a poem that contains 5 lines in each stanza. I hope you had understood the poem and all the poetic devices that we had learned today. So as we know, time is precious. Make the best use of the time that is available right now. And thank you.